Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyu.
And you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. This is episode 4. The topic today is about
Energy Basics 101.
That's right, the simplest form of how you can hold that vibrational energy in your solar plexus megaphone so that you can magnetize what you do want instead of what you don't want.
And to help you understand your own energy as opposed to someone else's energy so that you can proceed in the way that you want.
That way you're constantly tuned in and aligned with what you do want more of in your life, like more podcasts with
Liz and Eddie.
That's right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
In the spirit of Energy Basics 101, let me ask, let's pretend you have a hot date on Thursday.
Okay.
We can imagine and pretend. Okay, then I'm going to pretend. If you have a hot date on Thursday at 6 p.m.,
yeah.
What arrives to the date first? Your thoughts about the date
Yeah.
or your beautiful body?
My thoughts.
What arrives to the date first? Your feelings about it or your body?
My feelings.
What arrives first? Your attitudes, your emotions, your frequency, or your body?
My attitudes, emotion, and frequency always arrive first. So energy
100%.
first.
Yes, energy always arrives to our destination first because we're more energy than we are physicality.
Yes.
And our energy communicates with every person, place, thing, circumstance, and situation on planet Earth long before your cute self walks in the room and go, hey, girl, what you doing? Okay. But I have a question. If you're having dinner at 6 o'clock on a hot date, you might want to move it to 7:30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's Dolores Claiborne. Dolores Cannon.
No. I gotta slap your face. Dolores who?
Cannon.
That's right.
Dolores Cannon has the best quote. She says,
Love Dolores Cannon.
Yes. Earth is a school for manifesting how to manipulate energy. Many other planets have easier courses of learning, and the Earth School is the most difficult in the universe. Only the bravest souls sign up for this assignment we call Earth. That's Dolores Cannon. So what do you think about the first sentence? Earth is a school for mastering how to manipulate energy.
Well, okay, I can agree with that. And maybe I feel that coming to Earth, yes, I feel it is one of the most difficult. And I think that it's about experiencing everything. So the challenges that occur while a soul is here on Earth, yes. Yeah, I agree with her.
It's tough.
It is. It can be tough. It can be, depending on the lifetime that you've chosen.
She says many other planets have easier courses of learning, but the Earth School is the most difficult, and only the bravest souls sign up for this assignment. So you're a brave soul.
And so are you.
I'm a brave soul.
Absolutely.
Hey, girl.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if we have lifetimes on multiple planets throughout all of the universe, why do you think your soul chose to come to Earth in this lifetime?
I think it's because it is perfect to fulfill the goals that my soul had wanted to accomplish for this lifetime.
And what kind of goals do your soul want to create?
Well, I think that for everyone it's different. And I think that there is a discussion ahead of time before you come to this earth.
And who do you have that discussion with?
With your guides and your helpers. And they discuss with you about what it is you want to accomplish while you're here.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's learning about love, or, taking away hate, or accomplishing communion with community. Or some people, it's about, bringing people's attention to a difficult situation, like you may come in paraplegic or, mentally challenged.
Yeah.
But this is all part of the discussion before you come. And as a soul, everyone's excited about coming to the earth.
Because from non-physical perspective or from the non-physical realm, there's no resistance like we know it here.
Yes, absolutely.
And because Earth is a three-dimensional form and we come from our spirit soul body into a three-dimensional form, we have to learn how to, as she says, manipulate the energy, harness the energy, direct the energy, hold the energy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe it's her words. I just feel like, sometimes I think about manipulation and I think, I don't,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like that, because I think it contains it in a container of that statement, rather than, for me, I feel like it's the energy. You're here to experience all energy. It's your choice.
Yes.
So that, in that way, I think that's what it is, not so much manipulation. I think that you're learning to experience it so that you can understand and direct the energy the way you want, in the way that you prefer, to accomplish your goals as a soul.
So I'm going to just piggyback on that and say harness instead of manipulate.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Hold,
Yeah.
harness, direct it,
Uh-huh.
play with it, and make it familiar, because your soul's older than your human body is in this lifetime.
Well, again, yes, we talked about that we're only experiencing this much of our soul, and our soul is so much more
Expansive.
expansive. And again, we talk about, you can tap into that energy anytime you want. You just have to want to do it.
And I think of non-physical being in other planets. Like, I've tuned into clients before, and I will often say to the old souls, the really sensitive, empathic, older souls, and they can be a teenager, by the way.
Sure.
And when they're sitting in front of me, I've done readings for 30 years, and more now than ever before, the older souls from other parts of the universe and other planets are coming into the Earth plane. And some of them are they come from what I call the I Dream a Genie planet, or the Bewitched planet. And for you young whippersnappers out there who don't know what I'm talking about, do your homework. But for real, Barbara Eden in I Dream of Jeannie, when we were growing up, she would just cross her arms and snap her head and instantly manifest things out of invisible into physical, from physical into invisible. And I knew even as a kid we had the power to do that. And
Well, I was going to say, yeah, of course, ascended masters. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. That's possible here. But again, as we go, let's go back to the beginning. You have to learn how to do this and clarify what you want in your mind in order to manifest this.
now, see, here's what Liz and I are going to get in a wrestling match. We're going to put some fat-free yogurt on the floor, and we're going to squalor. We're going to be like rolling around.
Yeah.
Not fat-free. We
Don't like fat.
We're classy.
Yeah.
I think thoughts, here I go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thoughts are lifeless.
Yeah.
I think thoughts are lifeless and soulless. I don't think they're disempowering. I don't think they're bad. I think that when you think, whatever thought you think triggers a feeling, an emotion, in any way, shape, or form, good, bad, or indifferent. So if I have a negative thought about something, even though it's a lifeless, soulless thought, if I'm triggered by something someone did to me when I was a little kid, or if I see an adult doing something bad to a kid, I'm triggered all over again.
But isn't that connected to an emotion?
The trigger is the emotion.
Yeah.
The emotion for me is the electromagnetic pull that brings more of what you don't want to you, and it also brings more of what you do want to you.
Yeah.
And the power with the brain for me is deliberately choosing thoughts that make me happier, that make me feel better. That's why we talked on the previous podcast about don't take sides.
Yeah.
Do you know taking sides and this whole philosophy of you can't let them talk to you that way, or you have a reputation to maintain.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know all of that was manufactured programming to get people pitted against each other on purpose?
Oh, wow.
And because is that your soul's blueprint? Is that how your soul thinks and feels?
Oh, absolutely not.
The soul could care less. You can call me whatever you want to. My soul's going to be like, bitch, please, I'm going to eat some ice cream.
That's right.
But the human brain gets into this thing like, what do they think of me? Why do they like me? Do they don't like me? Why did they treat me that way?
Yeah.
But when you're standing in the place you spoke about in the last podcast of ultimate awareness, where you're not picking the good over the bad, the dark over the light, the Democrat over the Republican. You stay in the place of awareness, and then what you're pulling to you energetically is way more high, more fast, and more pure.
Yeah. I'm in agreement. That's fine.
Okay.
I
We'll see.
agree. I didn't think we were going to struggle there.
Oh, I didn't either.
But,
listen, I got my spandex latex underneath my eating dress here, and I will throw down.
I think the same thing. It's like, okay, so let's say I have a feeling about something, right? I have a thought about something, and okay, I have to clarify this. So, but what I say is that when you have a thought or about something, you have to be clear about it. Because
Do you have an example?
If you want to draw to yourself something that you prefer in your life, like I want let's say I want to, eat ice cream.
I thought she was going to say donuts, I swear.
No, I know. Well, I could say donuts.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll use donuts.
Okay.
Okay, let's say, because you already use ice cream. Okay, so let's say I want this glazed donut. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I want this glazed donut. I can visualize this donut, blah, 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 how it tastes and everything. And
where do you feel it at?
I feel it in my solar plexus. I feel it in my heart. I go, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm visualizing
what kind of
this.
donut is it?
It's a glazed donut.
I knew it was going to be a glazed donut because I can taste the ice underneath my tongue. My mouth is watering.
But if I don't have a clear thought, I just want a donut.
Yeah.
Then, okay, fine. The feeling about getting it, I have. And then the final thing, which we talked about last week, was the action behind it. Mm-hmm. Without action, none of this means anything. So you need to have your thought, you need to have the feeling, but you need to take action on the thought and the feeling in order to manifest that. So you're right when you say it's lifeless and soulless, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because without action, it means nothing.
See, and I think action, we're going to put some more yogurt in the wrestling bin.
Oh, wait, well, let me finish about my donut. So, but if you don't, no, listen. But if you're not clear about the type of donut, the detail, whatever, you're just going to get any old donut.
Oh, it could be, yeah.
Yeah, it'll just be, oh yeah, a picture of the donut.
You could literally get a picture of a donut. And then when you did get the donut, if you didn't feel it, hold it in the solar plexus like we're talking about, remember all of your favorite tasting donuts. Listen, we know where all the hot spot donuts are in Los Angeles. It's called the City of Angels for a reason. We ain't stupid.
No.
And when we think of donuts and we're talking amongst ourselves, we're high, fast, and pure about that. And in that purity, we've lined up good energy, meaning invisible energy that creates your physical reality. Yes. And our thoughts are super pure about it.
You're excited.
And if you don't line up the pure energy, you could get some sloppy old dry ass donut from
or just a picture of a donut or a vision of it.
Yeah, listen, have you ever wanted something and then you're sitting in traffic on the 405 and a big old Mack truck pulls up beside of you with a picture on the side of it of exactly what you want? Yes. It ain't got nothing to do with what you really wanted. And so when you have energetic manifestations like that, what do you do? I know I sit back and I'm like, I need to line up some more energy.
Yeah.
I need to feel this a little bit more. And now it's funny to me because I'm like, my I Dream a Genie and my Bewitched, boom, is slightly off and I need to clean up my sloppy vibration.
Well, again, that you just clean up your filter. You have your own filter. Each person has their own filter. So you have to clean it up ever so often. You're on it, going on with your life, going on. But once in a while, you have to sit back and go, oh, I need to clean this up a little bit. This is not my thoughts. These are not my thoughts, especially if you're sensitive. Not my thoughts, not my feelings. Those are somebody else told me that story, blah, blah, blah. You just got to clean it up and go, no, this is me. And sometimes that brings me back to saying that you just need to sit with yourself. And, this is related to this. You need to sit with your own energy. Know your own energy.
And how many people don't know their own energy? We ain't judging you. We ain't judging you.
No judgment. No judgment.
We're judging you a little bit.
But if you don't know what your own energy feels like,
yes,
how can you tell the difference
between your energy and someone else's?
who's been trying to impress upon you their energy or their fears, or television. That's what television does,
Bam!
right? That's what, certain movies do. You just have to make a choice, but you have to know what your feelings are, what you as a human being, as a soul, feels like. And it's I want to say it is unique.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're just tuning in right now, you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Layu.
This is episode 4 on how to generate the Energy Basics 101. And it's how to play with the energy, not be intimidated by it. And what we're all about is creating a safe place so that you can come and share with us some of your personal experiences so we can help you not be sloppy vibrators on the earth plane, bouncing around, not knowing what you're doing, like whiny, sucky, bitchy, moany little Ford Pintos from 1976.
That's right.
But it's a safe place to come.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Liz, over to you.
Over to you, Edward. No,
So I want to say something about an addendum to what you're saying is if you do not give yourself something to think, feel, then the environment around you will give you something to think and feel.
Absolutely.
So if I'm just numbly moving through life, then the TV is programming me. The radio is programming me. The internet is programming me. The computer is Liz and I is programming you right now.
That's right.
But see, we good people. You be Barbara Eden, and I'll be Elizabeth Montgomery.
I know.
I'll be Bewitched, you be Jeannie.
I be Jeannie.
Okay, ta-ta.
Okay.
But if you don't choose a thought, it will be given to you, and you will then become the byproduct of somebody else's intention.
That's right.
Someone else's agenda, someone else's energy, somebody else's insecurity, somebody else's negative spin. And if you don't know your own energy, then you can be feeling pleasant. Somebody else walk into the room, and then you start feeling like death gnawing on a cracker.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, I'm sloppy vibrating all over the place.
How many times has that happened to you? A million times.
Never to me, never.
Oh.
So many times that I program myself in the morning.
Well, maybe not. I'm sure you don't program yourself.
I program myself.
Do you program yourself?
I program.
Oh, you know what?
Ask me what I do.
You program, right?
No, ask me what I do.
What do you do?
I program.
It's stupid.
But what I do is I'll listen to a Joe Dispenza. I'll listen to Kelly Howell's guided meditation.
Yes.
I'll listen to Abraham Hicks. Yeah. I deliberately choose what I'm going to be influenced by.
Yeah.
What I'm going to deliberately choose to download myself with. Why? Because the first 10 minutes of your day will literally predict the next 72 hours of your life if you don't deliberately upload with things that feel high, fast, and pure that make you happy from the inside out.
Well, that's perfect, Edward.
You're welcome. I'll be here again next week.
But don't you think, okay, so why don't you give me some examples on how you can, how you can do, raise your realities to have your good thoughts and feelings?
One of the things I do to think good thoughts, it's super simple. Listen, I believe the Earth school is meant to be simple. Yeah, again, when we're non-physical, we can snap our fingers and instantly manifest things because we're in a pure positive field of influence, right? Once we get to the Earth plane, we have to learn to harness, not manipulate, and hold energy. There's a lag time on the three-dimensional Earth plane.
Oh, definitely there's a lag time.
And thank goodness, because how many times did you want your boss dead? No, I never did.
Never did.
Yeah, well, a few times. But isn't it good that you can't instantaneously snap your fingers and have them annihilated to the bowels of East Hell with Lucifer?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't do that. So what was the question?
Edward. So how do you raise your vibrational frequency? You're talking about for good thoughts and feelings. Let's say you're in a bad mood and you're in negative and you feel like crap. Okay,
that's very sad.
It's very sad.
So I go back to the basics. I remember that attracts like.
Yeah,
And Abraham Hicks will say birds of a feather flock together.
absolutely.
And whatever you think will cause a feeling. Whatever you feel creates, oh, child, this is a good place for the oval mirror of life. OVAL.
Yeah.
So when you stand in front of a mirror, what happens?
You see yourself, your reflection.
There you go. You see your physical self reflected back in the physical mirror.
Yeah,
And do you always like what you see?
absolutely not.
Me? And that's when you know you're a sloppy vibrator.
So you have judgment.
Oh, boom. And you're not in a state of awareness. Look how smart we are. Listen, we would watch our own show.
I know.
We would. We're that way.
Yeah.
And so the oval mirror of life is an acronym. There are times where we can't even look at each other when we're talking. So oval mirror is an acronym for observe.
Yeah.
Whatever you observe in your mind or with your eyes or ears causes you to vibrate a frequency. So whatever you observe causes you to vibrate in your solar plexus.
Yes.
Whatever you vibrate will cause you to attract that thing which you're observing and vibrating. And then the L stands for live it. You will live the base of what you observed, vibrated, attracted, and then either allowed in your life, the other A, by default or deliberately.
Yeah.
And like attracts like is, if I want to attract and manifest things energetically that make me happy, whose job is it to focus on things that make me happy?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course,
And
it's
so
yourself. It's yourself.
It's always yourself.
Yeah.
How many times in your spiritual practice have you heard people say, God knows what I want. Why doesn't he bring it? The universe is unconditional love. Where's my shit? Oh, can we say shit on this show?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah. Then when they say that, it's because, it's happened so many times.
Yeah. And so it's like, in other words, what you're not knowing you're asking for is a higher power, somebody else who has influence or manipulation over your experience to bring you something based on whether you deserve it or not.
Yeah, because you give it to them.
Boom.
You give it away. You give it to them. You give them that power to manipulate you, to brainwash you, to put you in their camp.
There you go.
So then therefore you commit your energy, which is so very precious.
Yep.
You give your energy over to that other person.
100%.
That's why it is so critical for you to make sure you know who you are, you know your energy. I know when people say, I don't know who I am yet. You do.
You do.
You just need to know what your energy is. Then from that, you can tell, I want to put this, you can tell, you can separate that which is not yours, which is yours.
That's right.
In a simple way.
And you have to be cognitively aware of it. A great question.
Exactly.
Ask yourself every single minute.
Yes.
I don't have time. People do that all day long. Every single minute, ask yourself, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
How do I feel?
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Oh my God, that's
How
perfect.
do I feel?
That is perfect because that's one of my teachers from Brazil. That was the one thing she would say to us every day, as we're going through this process and we're going to learn these different, I don't want to say like lessons or things like that, but it was more of an experience of opening ourselves up to who we are.
Yeah.
She'd check in with yourself.
Because
the fact that you're more sensitive, you're more open, you're going to finally realize that what you have been doing all your life is committing yourself to a future or a reality that is something that you don't want.
By default. Unconsciously.
Yeah,
and then that default unconscious becomes your habit.
And
And the more of a habit, like how many people do you know who jump on the 405 in morning drive traffic to go to work and go, oh my goodness, rainbow, sunshine, and unicorns? Not 1% of 1%. Some people they choke off their pure positive energy.
Yeah.
The moment they think of getting on the freeway, then their energy. So they observe the freeway. They vibrate every whiny, sucky, bitchy, moany thing they've ever experienced on the freeway.
That's true.
And now they're vibrating and they're attracting it, and they're going to be living it every day.
So once you think that and you feel that, then all of a sudden, all these situations. Oh, sorry about that.
Yes, okay. It's your water break?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so then all of a sudden, now that you have established you're in this energy, all of a sudden the universe is going to say, yes, of course. I'm going to bring to you this accident. I'm going to bring to you a situation where you're going to feel so stressed out. You're so negative that these things just start happening.
I'm going to bring you a teacup on the side of the road that's going to cause a 6-hour traffic jam that has nothing to do with anything but rubberneckers.
That's right.
We're very vivid, aren't we?
We are.
We're very colorful. Okay. So there's 2 kinds of frequencies on the planet Earth. And one is high, which is good and pure and connected to source, and one is low, which is negative. So there's only 2 kinds of actions you can take. You're either taking a high frequency action, which feels inspired.
Yes.
Or you're taking a low frequency action, which will feel in vain or hopeless. You're either thinking high frequency thoughts, which feel like opulence and wealth esteem.
Yeah.
Or you're thinking low frequency thoughts that make you feel victimized and negative. So you're either thinking high, feeling high, and acting on high, or not. There's no middle ground. Well, there's vanilla.
Well,
but that's just complacent.
Yeah, because to me, I look at energy as like it's like a rod.
Oh.
It's like this.
Okay.
It's like,
sorry. Do you need privacy?
Shut up.
So you want to do that again? It's like what?
It's like a rod. It's like, okay, so it's like this. It's like
rod,
energy
Jeremy.
is energy. Energy is energy. So then it is what it gives. It's the value that you give to it.
Oh, and the reason the word value is so important is because when you give value to something, you feel good.
Exactly. So I look at it like on a scale from 1 to 10. So on this end, is excitement, pure energy, happiness, love. On this end is depression, negativity. So it's up to you, because you have the energies existing. You give the value to it. It's up to you to decide, what am I going to look to? Am I going to look here, the right, or am I going to look left? So am I going to look to high frequency, love, light,
which increases your investment.
Exactly. And then, or are you committing to the other one?
Which creates a deficit.
Exactly.
Which is why we keep wanting to gently remind you to ask yourself every single minute, what am I thinking and how do I feel? If what you're thinking doesn't feel, keep it super simple. If what you're thinking feels bad, then elevate the thought. If what you're feeling feels bad, elevate your feeling. Ask yourself, check in every minute, every 60 seconds. Listen, if you do that for only 10 minutes at a time, your whole day will change.
Absolutely.
You know what I just thought of?
What did you just think of, Edward?
Speaking of putting values in my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions in the oval mirror of life, living a high frequency life, okay?
Yeah.
Back in North Carolina, and I was studying Abraham Hicks and Sanaya, Roman, etc.
Yeah.
I was playing with this energy more than I ever had. And my business partner and I at the time, we put out the intention to attract, we said something crazy like $100,000 worth of free publicity, because our goal was to leave our 3 jobs.
Sure.
And do this for a living.
I know.
And long story short, within 4 weeks of putting the intention out there and playing games with it and journaling and channeling and writing it out and pretending and make-believing it every day, even on the phone, we would play this game. But at the end of 4 weeks, I had a client I was reading for in Virginia while I lived in North Carolina who would come down. And the local radio station there put me on the air a few times on the AM and FM formats. He brought me out to LA.
Sure.
Put me on Star 98.7, and my life went from 0 to 160 in literally the 10 days I was in Los Angeles. He offered me a radio show while I was here.
Yeah.
I went back to North Kakalaki and loaded up my truck and moved to, Reseda.
Still Los Angeles.
I know. That's what I told myself. I'm like, Mom, I live in the San Fernando Valley. My mom's like, ain't that the porn capital of the world?
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, that's not what
yeah.
I'm here for,
Yeah.
Mom. I love corn. And on the cob.
I know. I was going to say.
So it's like holding, we were so excited.
Yeah.
The value we put in it was so high.
Yeah.
And it was wealth esteemable.
Yeah.
And we would keep pleasantly topping each other's vision, each other's vibration, each other's frequency, each other's pictures of what we wanted. Now, we did not say we want to come out to LA. We didn't say we want somebody to gift us $100,000. We just held the feeling frequency.
Yeah.
And then that happened and changed my entire life.
But do you see the energetic thread that goes from place to place to place to get you what it is that you wanted?
And I had to be aware enough and ask enough to stay in the receiving place enough to see, feel, experience the thread and follow the thread.
Yeah, and also, you also have to be open to the fact it may come to you in a way that you didn't even imagine.
And 90% of the time it does.
You didn't imagine any of that. You saw the thread, you asked for this to come to you.
Yes.
And
so, listen, if you just tuning in, you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I am Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Layuk. Sorry, I forgot that for a moment.
I know, she had to think about that. And we're talking about Energetic Basics 101. And I had a really good thought before I did that intro.
What? I know, right?
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
It is, look, the number one way to magnetize has so little to do with your thought and has an action at first. It is, how does $100,000 worth of free PR feel?
Yeah.
How does leaving my corporate America job, my dance studio job, and my coat check girl in a gay bar, leaving that to do this full time, how does that feel? How does living in Los Angeles over North Carolina feel? How does getting to help people connect to their source feel? And what Randy did at the Talleyrand restaurant back in Burbank, California, the last day I was here, I was standing at the intersection where the Talleyrand is, and I'm flowing energy because I'm high as a kite. I'm fulfilling my destiny.
High meaning high on energy.
High, fast, and pure, yes. And I'm just floating on cloud nine. And this red convertible, a classic red convertible Mercedes. I'll never forget this long sleeve. I can see it in my mind right now. The convertible top was down. This was September 1995 in Burbank, California. And the light turned green for me, and I was walking across the intersection because I was walking up from the Safari Motor Inn. Child, that's another story for another day. And to the Talleyrand. And I was like, gosh, this couple is beautiful. They're so glamorous. She had on her pearl earrings and this big, beautiful scarf. She was wearing a red dress in a red Mercedes convertible. And he was dapper. I was like, this is like a movie scene. Got in front of the car. Who was it?
Who was it?
Warren Beatty and Annette Bening.
I love it.
I was like, what?
What?
Now, of course, I was pretending to see them out my side eye.
Oh, yeah.
And not trip over the sidewalk to get to my meatloaf, because I know Talleyrand's famous for meatloaf and mashed potatoes and gravy. I had to feel like I was home.
I love that.
And I went in there, and that's when he offered me a job in California. And Victor and Randy were sitting there, and Victor said, you have a choice. You can go back to North Carolina and dress mannequins and teach dance classes and hang people's coat up and have a happy life. Or you can come to California, be on the radio, and change thousands and millions of people's lives one show at a time and bring this awareness to them.
That's right.
And that's how it manifested. I was feeling it here so purely. I wasn't holding on to the money part of it.
Well, you weren't holding on to how it came to you.
Exactly. I was holding on to the essence. I was feeling like on
That's
cloud
important.
nine.
Yeah.
And so when I was walking across the street, I was in the energy I had already projected forth. Because what did we say at the top of the show? What arrives to your destination first your energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I lined up energy for 4 weeks before I came to LA. So whenever I stepped off the plane, I was living a 10-day deja vu, connected to source energy, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, summoned the energy that creates world vibration. Oh Lord, I need a drink.
Exactly. But yeah, I think we talked about, there were some examples. I mean, you can, as much as possible, when we talk about energy, you can send it ahead of you.
Yes.
You can even send it because time does not exist.
Oh, say that again.
It is a human construct. Time does not exist. It
One
does
more
not
time.
exist.
Honest, I'll tell you why it's so important.
No, time does not exist. So
Except for.
It doesn't exist.
Except for.
No, it doesn't exist. It is a human construct. It is.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're in church with me now.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sister.
Okay.
Okay, so, but what I'm trying to say is that in this, that let's say, for example, let me give a practical example.
Thank you.
An example is you're going to have a meeting that's very important to you. And you want to gather around the energy. And I've done this many times. You can sit in meditation and you can visualize your energy. You can build it up and you can start sending energy to that moment. When you get to that moment, you'll be surprised how much energy is sitting there just for you in the way that you want. It is.
And how does it feel when they walk in? Meaning, let's say you have the meeting, you visualized it, you felt it, you did all of the magic. Then when you walk in, explain to the audience the times you have done it, how you felt when you were in the energy.
High, fast, and pure.
Yeah.
You do. You feel like you
aware.
feel confident.
Yes.
You feel excited. You feel
soul esteemable.
Oh yes, absolutely. Is that soul esteemable?
Soul esteemable.
Yeah.
It's where you feel more of the soul, invisible energy that you've sent forth. Now you're setting in it. You are a part of the invisible part of you sent forward that was clean and high and fast and delicious.
But you
and
can
now
feel it. You could feel that energy that is so strong around you, and the fact that you're so confident that this is going to happen. But you're not vested. Again, I want to say you're not vested in the way and how it's going to come to you, because what you are asking, desiring, and what you're feeling and what you want is going to come to you for absolutely sure. In fact, it may come to you even in ways that you had not even imagined.
90% of the time it will come, and more. It will come to you in a way you could never have imagined. I never imagined in a million years
exactly.
I would be sitting in Los Angeles meeting famous people. Listen, one person for one whole month, I had her big giant full color concert thing. I said it in my Helpful People in Travel Gua.
Okay, Feng Shui.
Yes, Feng Shui.
He's talking about Feng Shui.
And I folded it out to the centerfold where she's, performing. And every day I left for work for 1 month before I came to LA, I would say, well, oh my God, I almost said their name. I want to call her Gertrude. And I was like, bye,
Harriet.
Gertrude, have a good day. And then every time I came home from one of my 3 jobs, I'd be like, hey, Gertrude, did you have a good day today? I played the game just for fun. Plus, I live by myself, child. And 4 weeks later, I am sitting in Beverly Hills in my Mitsubishi Mirage rent-a-car for $350 a week. I thought that was crazy in 1995. Cost me $35 to park it.
Yeah.
There, and then went in, asked for her because we had a meeting with her because she wanted a reading. This is one of my idols.
Oh, I know.
And I'm standing there asking for Gertrude, and they're like, we're sorry, there's no Gertrude here. I was like, but we have an appointment with Gertrude. And they're like, I'm sorry, you crazy stalker fan person, Gertrude isn't here. And I was getting ready to leave, and as I was leaving, she come walking in, and she went, oh, you must be da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, come with me. And then she's like there with me. I didn't have the celebrity check-in code name.
Yeah.
And she gave that to me at the end, sat and talked and hung out for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that happened in the 10 days of holding the energy.
Right.
You feel like no one can touch you when you're in that energy.
That's true, yeah.
And you feel like you're elevating everybody else to that deliciousness. And you don't want to hide in it. You want to share it with everybody you come in
You want to
contact
give it to
with.
everybody, yeah.
And so some of the there's no way I could have.
How can you imagine? You can't.
Listen, child, I was poor white trash in the projects and the trailer parks in North Carolina. My biggest visualization was, do I have to look at the balance of my checkbook when I go to Whole Foods to buy groceries?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I had to learn to take baby steps to manifest bigger, better, brighter, bolder than the reality I was living. And that to date was the biggest energy. Like attracts like. What I think and what I feel and what I create is the same thing, and just savoring it.
But wait, if I can interrupt
Yes.
you, but it's more of like, it's the universe showing you, here, look, this is what it's showing you you're on the right path.
Yes.
So it's like, okay,
Because
this happened to you because you did this, and so now here's your payoff. We're gonna show you. Universe is showing you. Yes, you did it. You're able to do this. Now, what can you also do, Eddie? What did you do right?
Yeah, and how
You want more of that.
and have you ever felt this good before? No. Do you want to feel even better? Yes. And I call it yesercising. YES or sizing.
Yeah.
You're learning to exercise saying yes to what feels good energetically
You're
to
saying
you.
yes to the universe.
Well, the universe is a yes universe.
Yeah,
If I'm like,
exactly.
I love this, but I don't like that, it says, I love you unconditionally, bitch. You're going to not get what you want. You're going to get what you want. And I'm like, but don't you know what I want?
Well,
Back in the beginning.
the universe is like, let's say it's like your grandfather who has Alzheimer's and he doesn't remember anything. But you're basically telling your grandfather, okay, this is what I want. And you're directing the energy. He has all the energy. He can give you whatever you want in the world. You just have to direct it.
Yeah, and hold it.
And hold it. And you have to
think it, direct it, hold it for longer than 17 seconds at a time so that it starts to move towards you.
Well, isn't that like same thing again? Your thoughts, your feelings, and then
are interconnected.
Yeah.
That's the beginning
the
of the
thread,
golden
the
thread.
energetic thread.
I know she was going to say thread. You see me being into a child?
Because I see it as a thread. It's all threaded through.
It is.
Yeah, because there's no time.
But here's the thing. When I came out here for the 10 days to be on the radio, I never decided I wanted to meet this person I'm telling you about. That was a byproduct. I was so high practicing and playing with having a dialogue with this person. Who's it going to hurt? Sure. That when I got here and I say we saw California in a day, child, because we got off the plane at 10 o'clock on an overnight flight. We didn't get back to the Safari Motor Inn until 10 o'clock that night. And while we're in the car, in the Bronco, when we're in the Bronco, Randy just looks over at me and he says, well, in your wildest dreams, who would you like to meet while you're here? And I said, 3 people.
And she was one of them.
I said, Madonna. This is how bright I was. Madonna or Janet Jackson or Gertrude. And he goes, coming from the airport, getting on the freeway.
Sure.
And he's like, oh my God. Who did you say? And I said, Gertrude. He's like, guess who was in my office yesterday at the radio station? I went, why was she at your radio station? He's like, she was trying to get me to play her new album because our format isn't that format anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they change formats all the time.
See, I didn't know any of this stuff. Yeah. And I was like, but why won't you play Gertrude's music?
I know.
And he explained it to me in the car. And then another Bronco pulled out in front of us, and it had a license plate that was that person's occupation. I was like, it was golden thread, golden thread. And we were following the yellow brick thread.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I have another question for you. So what other examples can you give for raising your vibrational frequency?
Okay. Think good thoughts, because your thoughts plus your feelings equal your physical reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
So think good thoughts just for the joy of thinking them, because those thoughts, especially in the invisible oval mirror, because you have the physical mirror and you have the mirror. Oh, listen to me, mirror, child.
Invisimirror, okay.
And then you standing there.
Sound like Invisalign.
Invisalign.
You're getting Invisalign.
And you standing there in front of the invisible mirror, because what you observe causes you to vibrate. What you vibrate causes you to attract. And what you attract, you're going to live it whether you want to or not. Yeah. Because the universe says, I love you. Yes.
Yeah.
I love you. Yes.
It's a yes. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you.
So to think good thoughts, because that provokes good feelings, and then to hold those good thought feelings as long as you can. And guess what? I'm going to throw an extra bonus round in there. Ding, 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 ding. Every single minute you say to yourself, ask yourself from a loving place, what thoughts am I thinking? How do I feel? What thoughts am I thinking? How do I feel? And guess what? Throw one more question in there. How can I raise them both? Even if you feel euphoria, my thoughts feel euphoric, my emotions feel euphoric, how can I raise them higher? Just for fun. Because this is meant to be a fun planet. Yeah,
because it's all about the intention, you know? So, yeah, I agree with you.
So what's one of the 3 easy ways that you can uplift your vibrational frequency?
Well, I think
we're not scripted at all.
I know, right? No, I'm looking at that. I'm going like, okay, so, yeah, we talked about pretty much all of this. And I think that holding the desired end result, so visualization, your desire, knowing what it is that you want to make sure that your energy is you.
Yes.
Number one, and it's not anybody else or anybody's energy that they've inflicted on you or put on you, and you want to make sure it's you. And then you also want to know that what is it? You want to be clear about the end of what it is that you want. What is it? Without limiting it to the universe giving you more of that.
Yes.
In a way that you can't even imagine. So that's important. You know, we already heard some examples when you came out here to Los Angeles. I think that also some practical examples I'm going to throw this into.
Do you have a tissue? So sorry.
Tissue.
They just started burning.
Oh, it's right in the...
Ooh.
Sorry.
What am I vibrating?
Here.
Am I picking you up?
Here, let me get my hand.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There you go.
Thank you. Ooh.
Perfect.
Lord.
So, are you okay, babes?
Yeah, it's just like...
Don't cry. I promise I'll stay with you forever.
Oh, no, it made me cry harder. Oh, my goodness
You okay,
gracious.
honey?
Yeah. Gosh, it was burning.
I know.
I think it was probably moisturizer.
Uh-oh.
Whew.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't look like I pulled an all-nighter?
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
But in a good way. In a good way. Okay, I think that there are some other ways that you can raise the vibrations in your home, is that you can play classical music.
Oh,
this
that's one of my favorite.
automatically, you know, actually there's a few things. If your home is disorganized, then organize it.
Yes.
That automatically will raise the energy in the room.
One section at a time. Be real gentle with yourself.
You don't have to be, like, oh, I got to do it all. Just, you start where you're at.
You start with the underwear drawer.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious.
Start from where you're at.
Okay,
right?
your sock drawer.
Yeah, your sock.
Move the toys to the closet.
Exactly. But, I mean, you start from where you're at. You organize yourself, organize your home, organize wherever place where you do business, where you meditate, where anything. But organization is really important so you can raise the energy. The second thing is play a music that has, like, classical music is really important.
I love it.
That also raises the energy in the room. Let's say, for example, you're moving into a home. You can use it on a practical. You're moving into a home. You've never been there before. You want to clean up the house. That's what a lot of people do. They clean it up. They organize it. And then before I move into a room or something, then you want to play, classical music. Somewhere in Time is a great soundtrack for that. Is it? Yes. It comes in, it sort of lifts all of the energy in the room and it just cleans it up. Not Mozart, Bach. Any that you feel drawn to. Any music like that they feel drawn to. The other thing is lights. Lights are important. Blue lights help dissolve the negative energy.
Candlelight.
And yeah, well, you want to be careful with the candlelight, but so it doesn't burn. But I mean, I'm just talking about color therapy, like chromotherapy, like that. So if you have a blue light, that actually helps get rid of the negative energy in the room, and it helps bring up the energy as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the third way is what we've been talking about the whole time. Okay. And the fourth one is using your solar plexus megaphone. And I call it a megaphone because it's invisible language. I think the universe not only is an I love you, yes, here's more universe. It's not a spoken word universe.
Yeah.
It is a vibrational universe.
Yeah.
So what you feel in your solar plexus is what the universe is saying yes to. It ain't saying yes to your action. It ain't saying yes to your thoughts. It's saying yes to how you feel while you take the action and think the thoughts. It's saying yes to that.
Yeah.
So in closing, how can we help to people at home? There's always the three topics people want to talk about when they come and see a reader. It's usually love, money, career, the big three.
Yeah.
So out of those three topics, let's use something more universal because everybody wants monetary freedom. What would you do? We can share this together.
Yeah.
How do you hold the energy in your solar plexus of monetary ease? How does that feel?
Feels really good. What I would do is just feel confident, feel that the universe supports me. I feel supported.
Yes.
Let's talk basics.
Yes.
I don't know how it's going to happen,
simple.
How it's going to happen, or what's going to happen, or who's going to do it, but I feel supported. I feel loved, supported, and held in the arms of the universe.
And I feel awake because I have new knowledge. I feel more heard. I feel a little more seen. I know that the universe supports all living things.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang out with some trees and some flowers and some diamonds of white light
take
dancing
action on that.
Yeah, you're just going to, and then once you take your action to get there, you can set your butt down and not take any action.
Yeah.
Just sit still under a tree and harmonize with the frequency of the tree and the diamonds of light, the water, the sounds of nature, the breeze blowing through your hair and your clothes. And you're just sitting still and looking at all things that feel rich in nature, rich in the universe, wealthy in prosperity consciousness. Count the leaves on the tree. That'll put you in a prosperity consciousness.
I think that we should bring also into this is that the earth is a cleanser. Any negative energies you may have or anything that you want to resolve, you just give it to the earth.
I love
the
that.
Earth cleanses it. That's part of the action of the earth. It's just, and what it does for you.
Yeah.
The earth cleanses the negative energy and gives it back to you in a positive way.
I love it. So
it's a circle.
So harmonize with things in the world, physically and non-physically, that feel opulent, prosperous, wealthy, easy, safe, freeing, connected, aligned, where you feel also seen and heard and appreciated by non-physical, since you are 100% non-physical. See, I learned that from my friend Liz, y'all.
Or experiencing physicality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
Yes,
so let's tell everybody what our next podcast is going to be about. The energy of money. I was going to say, money. Okay.
You beat me to it.
So the energy of money. Yeah. Hey, and thanks for tuning in. You've been watching Coming Out with Eddie. You've been watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie.
And I'm Liz Layu.
And I'm Eddie Connor. Until we meet again, please remember to keep your thoughts, your feelings, and frequencies high, fast, and pure so that you can unlock the universe within. Thanks.
Thank you. Hysterical Edward. I'm dying.
Dolores Claiborne.
I love that.